Okay, so we are live.
Oh, sorry.
We are live from the Honda Insight.
Yeah, the ZE1. Yes, the first generation of Insight.
And I have to say,
It's insightful.
I am quite enjoying this car. This is a very interesting experience for me. Not quite up there with the NSX, but it's getting there.
I was going to say, yeah, whenever I have a heritage vehicle from Honda, we do like to come and experience.
Yeah, I am a bit of what could be known I could be referred to as a bit of a JDM fanboy.
A little.
Just a smidgen. But yeah, this is this is part of Honda's heritage fleet.
As you can see, I'm just grinning away because
Yeah.
it's so not what I expected.
No, it's not what I expected. I knew it'd be interesting. I knew it'd be, full quirks and features.
Yes, exactly.
But I didn't realise it'd be like this. Look at the dash.
That's what I mean. Engaging digital dash.
It's incredible. It's because I'd always sort of
That's a jazz. Hello.
Honda friends. I'd always sort of I'd sometimes see these about, very rarely. And I'd be quite interested in them because it's an unusual car. It's an early hybrid.
Yes.
And it's a cool sort of older Honda.
And it's got the wheels covered by arches. That's the bit that makes it look like a hover car.
Exactly.
Hoverino.
Which is why they used it to look futuristic in the Cat in the Hat live action film. Which is a fun bit of trivia you never thought you'd need to know. But there we go.
I was going to say, I didn't know that. I was thinking it very similar to some of the cars you see in Back to the Future too.
Yes. Yeah, when they're in the distant year 2050.
Yes, quite worryingly. Oh dear. And we're still nowhere near proper flying cars.
Yeah, I know. Come on,
Actually,
auto manufacturers.
Let's go right.
Yeah.
I just look like a really bad driver now. Oh.
Ooh, AMG.
Yeah, let's go and smoke it.
It's an actual one as well. Quad exhausts.
Is that 6.3 litre?
Yes. Cool. A fairly full-fat automobile, if I do say so myself.
Yeah, indeed. Pretty quick motor.
Joseph says, off anywhere nice, gentlemen?
Not really, we're just going on an adventure.
Because that's how we do in the Insight.
Well, the last time we had an adventure, I think, was in the EK4, wasn't it?
Possibly, yeah.
And we drove all the way from Lancaster to Windermere.
And I remember we got stuck behind that really cool Land Rover with all the people in the back.
Series 1, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And they kept waving at us out the back.
And they were sending it.
Yeah. As much as you can send a Series 1.
Well, yeah. They were sending it by 1950 standards.
Yes. And some trivia, the Queen can strip one of those down and rebuild it and regularly drives one.
Big fan of the Queen.
Yes.
Obviously. She's like, she's quite similar to Elon Musk in if she started a space army, I'd join it. Give it a rev in the tunnel.
I was going to say, 3-cylinder. Now this claims 0 to 60 in 12. I don't really believe it.
I think they may have just said that so they can get it into a different tax bracket.
Yeah, I was going to say, electric motor, 1 litre, 3-cylinder VTEC. Yeah, it doesn't really bode for that slow acceleration. It's powerful. It's just nippy as hell.
Yeah.
It really is.
And it's surprisingly good handling.
Oh yeah.
Because it's only about, the tyres are about 10 mil wider all round than my Suzuki Wagoneer.
And the rears are narrower than the front anyway.
Yeah. Well, they're further in,
Yeah.
is what you mean.
No, they're narrower as well.
Oh, really?
Mm. Yeah, all for economy, because that's the sole reason of this car, isn't it?
Well, yeah. You've been getting, about sort of 60 miles to the gallon? You're getting 56.4 now.
I've just
You've
driven.
been thrashing it. I would have run out of fuel by now
That's
in
what
mine.
I mean, yeah.
And the thing is...
That sound.
Yeah, it's quite raughty.
It is. That's the thing about Honda, isn't it?
They do know how to make a good 3-cylinder.
Well, that's it. We've driven a V6
Yeah.
VTEC.
Mm.
Now we've driven a 3-cylinder 1 litre VTEC.
And you own a
look,
1.4.
Wedge. Oh, come on, cut out. You're supposed to stop. That's a first.
It's not doing the
Interesting.
stop-start anymore.
No.
trying to show off the feature.
Yeah.
So the other thing is the interior is
Out there.
well, it's out there. You've got these green seats for a start. You've got a very large storing space for your singular fedora.
Have you noticed the hat hasn't moved?
The hat has not moved, no.
Because the 3 sweets underneath would have leapt out.
Yeah, we are hiding sweets. Joseph says, enjoy your adventures, chaps.
Thank you.
We will do, yeah.
The thing about this car, and I mean, look at the dashboard. This is more like the NSX styling than it is than the Civic.
Yeah.
But
Although-
it was built in the same factory.
Yeah, and this was very much Honda's look what we can do car.
It was.
Look what technology we have developed.
Yes.
And it holds up
And
very
it does.
well.
The problem then was the market wasn't there. Nobody
Exactly.
knew they wanted a hybrid or that they wanted anything quite as cool.
And then after the success of the sort of second generation Prius, because the first generation Prius was about at the same time as this. I'm not sure on the years exactly, I'm no expert. But it was about
that
the
won
same.
the race, didn't it?
Well, yeah, exactly. The Civic now, the Prius now is it's the go-to hybrid.
It is.
It's like how Teslas are like, you know, you think of a hybrid, you think of a Prius. You think of an electric car, you think of a Tesla.
You do.
Honda did continue making the Insight, but it was a lot closer to the saloon Civic.
As you can tell, it's not the most refined experience. It is quite noisy in the cabin.
Yeah, and we're only doing about 50 miles an hour, so
But it is 18 years old.
well, that's to expect. It's quieter than mine, I'll put it that way.
Pardon?
Excuse me?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
That's it. It's exactly what you expect.
It is an economy car after all. You can't expect full, you know, luxury tier, can you?
No, you can't. Well, that's why it's all aluminium, isn't it? Because
Well, yeah.
it's lightweight. I mean, you've seen what the doors are like. They're ridiculously light.
They might as well not be there.
Exactly. Yeah. But I'm just amazed at the peppy power.
Yeah.
Power delivery is quite staggering. I didn't expect it.
Hondas, I feel like, are cars that are quite surprising
Yeah.
because no matter which one you get, they're fun.
They are.
This should be the most uninteresting,
Yeah.
dull to drive car
Sterile
ever.
car.
Sterile
It
car.
isn't, yeah.
No, it's absolutely magnificent, and
Exactly.
it's really
Look at this.
yeah. You can just chuck it round a roundabout.
It's so cool.
Yeah. And it's quite rare as well.
Yeah.
You don't see this generation about, and I arguably think this is the best generation of them.
I would say that, to be honest with you, 'cause it's the most cutting edge, isn't it? There's nothing else quite like it,
Yeah.
except the prototype.
Exactly. I mean, there was a couple of weird things on a similar vein that came a bit later, like I think it was the Volkswagen XL1 or XV1.
Yeah, that's it. But that was a higher level of economy, wasn't it?
Yeah, no, that was something stupid, like 200 and something miles to the
Yeah,
gallon.
yeah, but you could hypermile at about 1,000.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Ridiculous engineering. Although that was pretty much, I feel like that was this,
It was very
but
similar,
done to an
especially-
insane degree.
Yeah, but it still had things like the wheels covered by the arches.
The wheels covered by. Well, that's because that's simply the way to make it more
Because it's
aerodynamically
the
efficient. And it's still got enough power.
Oh, it
Like-
has.
If you were being annoying, you could have chopped
I was
these two
thinking
cars
that.
in front. Thinking about it, but it's not our car, so
Exactly.
we're going to be
Very
sensible.
Gotta care.
Exactly.
I'll overtake here because it's nice and safe.
Yep. And a funny thing I noticed is you've still got the sort of typical Honda design elements, like these vents in the door, for example. That's a very Honda thing, and the gear knob is the same as the standard one out of your EK4,
It is.
which I noticed. But
It's amazing what you pops up in your mind.
the funny thing
I didn't
is,
notice that.
it's almost like a short shifter.
It is.
Because look how close it is to the to where the gator is. Whereas on your Honda, you look at the shifter now, even though it's an RX-8 gear knob, which is
Yeah.
pretty cool. You're welcome for that, by the way.
I count my blessings every day.
Had people offering to buy it, believe
I
it or
know.
not.
No, never. Mine.
Yeah.
It's the Civic.
Exactly. It's part of what gives that car its unique character.
Yes. But it's like this. These seats. Have you ever seen anything seating like this, except
The tombstone
Porsche
seats.
tombstones.
Which, by the way, I have one of those that I bought from a scrapyard for £20.
I know.
And I'm never getting rid of that either. That's one of those parts.
Yeah.
But it's quite spacious. I have 2 seats in my car, and I never really have an issue. It's not really a problem that comes up too much if,
Yeah.
you know, and I've... But yeah, plenty of storage for your singular hat, and if I can reach, your 3 suites.
3 suites.
3 suites,
The
yeah.
only problem we've got with 3 seats is you can't carry 3 people.
Well, yeah,
So there's fighting over the 3rd suite.
the 3rd suite. You could cut it in half with a very small knife, like a scalpel.
But you can't
You know what
carry
they use for
knives and
cutting
carves
stickers?
anymore. I used to carry around carving knives so I could cut out nice 6x9.
Yeah.
Whoa, he's going for it. Whoa!
1 series on the send, yeah.
Yes!
It's funny because I used to work at the petrol station just down this road.
Is this a pheasant? Nope, it's moved. It's an eagle.
Yeah. And I used to see, like, I'd be leaving and people in sort of the evening, obviously getting home from somewhere, would be absolutely flying down here.
Yeah, it's a fast road.
Like a solid 110 I saw someone do once.
Back in the
You know,
day,
insignia.
I was in a Capri down here, not driving, as a passenger, and I don't think he dropped below 105.
Wow.
I've never been so scared. I mean, every corner you went round was basically on full send.
Well, corners like this, at, 50, 60, the speed limit,
Yeah.
are perfectly manageable because it's an A road. But when you get up to those kind of speeds, obviously, I guess they sort of tighten up.
3.1, no cats. That's capes, but anyway.
We've got to take the cats out for weight reduction,
See
and
what
so they stop me
suspension's
out.
out. Like, I can't talk.
Suspension,
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? It's you can bounce the back end like this,
yeah.
but it's not overly bouncy.
No, this is a bit that's so bumpy. The local council has given it
Well,
a
in lowered
sign.
car, you're like that, aren't you?
Oh yeah, exactly. Yeah. I went over it in a friend's lowered 106, and it was like being on a trampoline.
That's what it's like, yeah. the
But in
Mark
this,
I.
it was fairly sedate.
Yeah.
So I thought, well, no, I think the shocks on the wagon are not doing too well
No.
because it spent a lot of its life not on the ground. So,
Yes.
as you do.
It's all a learning curve of driving, isn't it? You learn to drive, but you don't actually. Well, you learn to pass a test.
Yeah.
You don't actually learn to drive.
Yeah, I feel like the driving test is very much. It's a series of boxes to tick.
Yeah.
That's how my instructor put it. It's a series of boxes to tick that doesn't necessarily. It teaches you how to operate a car in a safe manner,
Yes.
but as soon as you get in a car by yourself, where there's less pressure and you don't feel like, because everyone makes mistakes whilst they're driving.
Of course.
Even people who've been driving, 60 years, been driving professionally, make mistakes. Kind of driving.
Yeah, certain things will either overestimate or underestimate.
But you learn from it, and you
do.
can't get that in like a 10 weeks of
Environment.
driving lessons.
No, you can't. Tailored environment is not good for that kind of thing.
Exactly.
That's what I mean. If you put everyone in something like this, you'd have no problems because you've got the power to pull away. It's not particularly fast, but it's still got enough power than
It's
say
got
a
grunt.
1 litre Fiesta to get out of trouble.
Yeah, I feel this because it's a 3-cylinder and it's a 1 litre. Is definite, and the handling as well, is definitely on par with an EcoBoost Fiesta, like a Mark 7.
Oh, yeah.
So I think
Well, I can keep up with one of those in the Civic.
well, I can keep up with one of those in the wagon.
Yeah, so
People don't
I'm
tend to
thinking
thrash
this is
it.
possibly a touch quicker,
Yeah. Well, because you've got the torque of the electric motors.
but not on paper, surprisingly.
Yeah, well, it's one of these cars where you very much have to feel out how to drive it. You can't really get an idea of it.
Well, as soon as I got in it, I was oversteering everything because I was like, whoa, it doesn't feel like it should go around corners, but it does.
Well, all of the weight, because you've got, lightweight sort of all the engine and everything sort of low down in the car, and it's really low suspension-wise anyway.
You've
got a-
gravity.
you've got an
amazing.
Exactly, which lends itself to having a lot of, front end grip.
Perfect handling.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Well, Honda's always been known for their handling.
they have.
They've kicked it up a notch in recent years, especially with the Type R.
Yes.
I think you took me out in that.
The FK8.
And I feel like it's a bit of a cliche to say something handles like it's on rails, but you were barely giving that like 10% of what it could handle.
I know.
And it was light years faster than anything I've ever been in.
It was, yeah. It shows you, doesn't it, the technology advancements.
Exactly.
Something like this to the FK8.
Because this,
But this was what, 10 years ahead of its time then?
oh, easily 10, maybe even 15.
Yeah.
I'm really impressed by it.
Tesla.
Very fancy.
Yes.
I'm really impressed by it. I knew I'd be interested. As soon as I saw Ben had it on the channel, I was like, I must see this. Because this is a car that already I had one in Gran Turismo that was very competitive in its class. I guess because of the low center of gravity.
Well, now you know it because you've experienced it for real.
Yeah.
You can see what it was that made the characteristics
I
of that
would
car.
so
go
have
well.
one of these.
I know.
I would A, if I could find them, and B, if I could afford them.
Yeah, they weren't particularly cheap when they came out, were they?
No, I think that's why you don't see as many of them about because
They
the
sold
tech.
17,000 in the whole run.
I mean, that's not horrendous.
It's not, no.
But you don't see them.
No. Where are they all?
Yeah, and all the ones you see in white, green is quite a rare color on these.
But
actually.
green is the one that they use on Wikipedia, so it's the one that was actually recognised.
And you get these
as an
cool seats. The seats make it so
They're
much
very
better.
comfortable, aren't they? As
They are
well?
quite. They've got good bolstering.
Yeah, they
That's
have.
the other thing I've noticed.
Yeah.
Because your Civic, the bolstering is like the seating position is very good, but I feel like the bolstering is not quite there. Possibly because it's done a lot more miles.
Yeah.
But even then, these are very
There you
impressive.
go. Start, stop.
We did it.
Put back in gear.
Yep.
And we're off again.
Honda FRV is another interesting car. 3+3 layout.
Ooh.
Yeah, like a van. And they did a Mugen version.
Ooh.
I know.
Well. Ooh, look, Civic.
Civic Estate. I like
We don't
those
see many
actually.
of those. Yeah, I quite like the Civic Estate.
I think it's quite a nicely designed car.
We seem to have a lot of Hondas around today.
Yeah, I know.
Look at that,
There's a
baby
Jazz in front of us. Yeah.
And that's the other thing about this car. It turns heads wherever you take it because nobody's really seen one.
It's very like 2005 futuristic.
It is, yeah.
Even though it's not 2005, this
No.
one is it? It's
No, it's
2001.
2001. Yeah.
A Space Odyssey.
Yeah.
Which is also another Honda. We're going Honda mad this time, Honda Odyssey.
Yeah. That's it. A lot of people have come up behind me and said, "Oh, right, great. It's one of those little cars that won't be very fast."
Yeah.
And, I've soon dispelled that notion
Yeah.
pretty quickly.
Like a Honda, it takes descending like a duck to water.
It does. So we're going to find somewhere to stop so we can have a walk round.
And show you the outside, because it's just as quirky and interesting on the outside
If
as
not
it is
more.
on the, if not more, as it is on the inside.
Find somewhere.
I mean, the deer park probably would have been alright.
It's all right, but then you have to move if a car comes.
Oh yeah. Could park in front of the gigantic mansion and pretend it's ours.
Here we are in my stately home.
My stately manor.
Oh, there's my chopper.
There's my butler telling me to leave the premises immediately. Oh, classic butler.
I know. We'll just park on the side of Sandside.
Yeah, well
It's a
that's
nice wide bit of road and just don't get run over.
that's why it's called
Yeah.
Sandside.
Ooh, look, and a Mega.
They're rear-wheel drive,
Yeah.
which I didn't know about.
3.2 something. 3 litres.
I think there's like a 2.2 diesel,
Yeah.
a 2-litre straight 4, and a 3-something V6.
Yeah, and that was the police car once.
Yeah.
Honda Jazz.
Honda Jazz. They used to have
Jazz is around here.
They used to have a pink one. I remember.
Speaking of the
a
Jazz,
Jazz
have
and
you
a
seen the new
Jag.
Jazz at the Tokyo Motor Show, and what are your thoughts?
I mean,
A lot of people say it's a lot more cute and more like the original.
I agree to a certain point.
Yeah.
I feel like the proportions I'm not too huge of a fan of.
Ah, interesting. The headlamps do look a little oversized, weirdly.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well. Although I think that you have to think about it from a world point of view. Another Jazz over there. Actually, 2 Jazzes parked next to each other.
Jazz one.
It's Jazz City.
See, we didn't even need to slow down.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I noticed that. I was like, hang on a minute.
It's just, yeah. What, nice signal.
Yeah. On the wrong side of the road.
Ah, yes.
Oh, it's being driven by a pensioner.
There we go.
Textbook stuff.
Let's park just up here and have a wander around.
Yeah, you have to think of it about how the Japanese market operates.
Exactly.
Because in Japan, it's actually called the Fit,
Yes.
as it is in America as well.
Yeah.
Because they're marketing it more towards a younger audience.
I think the Jazzers are cool now. And that one that I had. Oh,
The SI.
yeah.
Yeah, that was quite
the
good.
The VTEC was quick. Really quick.
And you see them pootling around at very much under the speed limit.
Apologies for the wind. It's going
Yeah.
to be horrendous, but I'm sure
We
you'll
are by
cope.
the ocean. Doors blowing open. Oh, it is a fair bit windy.
Well, as you can see, the styling really speaks for itself. Now, you know everybody will not be able to hear a flaming word unless I'm on it. So, at least you're going to have to talk from behind the camera.
Okay, so the first thing you will notice about the Insight is these arch covers, which are incredibly cool. And the purpose of those is to make the outside more streamlined for better fuel economy. Everything about this car has been designed for superior fuel economy.
Exactly.
Which it does rather well.
It does, even when flooring it.
Exactly. So you've got. So not only is it covered up, it's also the track is wider on the front than it is on the back.
Yep.
Like a drag car, like a front-wheel drive drag car.
Yes, it's
I
kind
like
of
to say, yeah.
The reverse, weirdly.
Exactly, yeah. And you've
My
got.
word, it's cold.
It is bloody freezing. It's like 4 degrees. This is we're out here bringing you content. So, and you've got other interesting design cues like this sort of what would you call it? Like a,
Well, if you
a
think
cut
about it,
through.
normally on a wing, you have a line here,
Yeah.
and that line is here. Wait a minute, what? Plastic wings?
Weight reduction.
Yes.
Because what does this weigh? It's under 1,000 kilos. I know that much.
Even with the batteries and the motors. The motor.
It's got to be right around 900.
Yeah, probably.
Because Honda's famous for being lightweight, good handling.
Have you noticed, if you stand at the front, it does look weirdly EP3.
You know what I'm actually? It does actually.
I know.
You know what I'm reminded of as well? The Mazda MX-3.
Yeah.
Because in proportions, you think about it, it's so cold. I bet you're glad I've got a gimbal because this one looks like I'm shaking all over the place. Yeah, but you've got this sort of big rear window, you've got this sort of tinted quarter glass.
It's like
Inside.
a little Audi, isn't it? The way that it's got the two.
Yeah, like the A2,
Yeah, that's
which is another car that was very much designed for fuel economy.
Yeah.
And you've got aerodynamic cues like this sort of plastic skirting around the side, which I think looks kind of like a diffuser.
We've even got a number plate recess.
Oh yeah. That's a
All
good point
this
to
for,
know.
aerodynamics. Everything's set in.
Well, you can see just when you look at the curve of it, you see how it kind of comes in, and that's all due to the teardrop shape being the most aerodynamic. And you've got the sort of you've got the third brake light integrated into the rear sort of spoiler that separates two windows.
Hence why Volkswagen used it on the XL, whatever it was called.
XL1, yeah.
Yeah.
Which is incredibly cool. I'm blown away by this car. I knew it was going to be cool, but it's surpassed my expectations, which were already high. Honda does know how to make a really cool little car.
Yeah, they do.
Because they started off making motorcycles. Can we sit in the car now?
Yes!
I think they've had a good enough look at the outside. Oh my god, it is so cold. Yep. Oh, it's quite low.
That's better.
Oh, my hands are shaking.
Apologies if there was wind noise, because it does feel like we're on the side of the... Well, we are on the side of the sea.
We're on the
technically.
face of Jupiter
Yes.
during a dust storm.
Estuary.
Yeah. If you hold the camera, let me put my seatbelt on. Safety first.
Indeed. Yes, and if you're wanting to see some of Ellis's rambunctious adventures
Yeah.
in his motors, then safety first on YouTube.
If you search Safety First Fiesta, you'll find it easier.
And thank you for tuning in, and subscribe to the channel and like this video. I seem
Yes.
to have a serial hater.
Which is the most entertaining concept ever to
I
me.
know. They don't
I
realise
love
it
that.
does good.
Yeah, it's like I think Bart Simpson said it best when he said, "Good attention, bad attention. It's all attention."
Yes, exactly.
It's the same
Yeah.
with YouTube. So we signing off now.
Yeah,
we
we'll
got-
just
we got-
have a look at the concepts. As you can see, it started with the 1998 JVX concept car, 1 litre 3-cylinder VTEC.
You can see how similar it is in
Well, that's
specification and design.
As per usual, a concept always looks a little more crazy.
Yeah.
Look at that front. That's staggering. Then you got the 99 VV concept. It felt like we were moving then because of the water. Whoa!
That's
Sorry.
a freaky one. It's
Yeah,
like
it
when
is.
a train leaves and you think you're moving as well.
So this is the one we're in.
Although ours is in a lovely green.
It is. It's in this green, which was concept car. 1 litre 3-cylinder VTEC, as I mentioned, 5-speed manual, nickel metal hydride batteries, 83.1 to the gallon. So I'm doing rather badly at
Yeah.
56.
Honestly, Ben, get it together.
Yeah, I know. But I've got like a 500-mile trip on this, so let's see how that goes.
I'm sure it'll go swimmingly.
And this is what we want at some point as well, so we can
The
test
NSX.
this new system.
Apparently the handling on that is amazing.
I can imagine.
I feel like the new NSX is being kind of overshadowed by its sort of Supra counterparts.
Yeah,
Even though it's been out for longer, I really like the new NSX.
I do. Oh, it's a fantastic looking vehicle.
Like, you can't exactly compare it to the old one. They're completely different cars.
Exactly.
They're the same in concept, you know,
Yeah,
3-point-something V6,
yep,
mid-engine rear-wheel drive.
Yeah.
Well, no, the NSX is all-wheel drive, isn't it?
it is.
And it's a hybrid, which is very impressive.
A bit like the IA.
It's a bit like the IA, but actually a lot quicker because it's a full-blown supercar. But
Yeah,
it's actually a very nice sunset.
it is. Have you noticed how quickly it starts as well each time? You turn the key and that's it. It's just off. I keep forgetting the windows are on the dash. Look at this. Window on the dash, mirrors on the dash. Nothing here except the lock.
Well, it's windows on the dash on the passenger side.
Ah,
because
yes, I stand corrected.
apparently I'm not worthy of your innovation.
No, you're not. Get out.
The passengers are just harming our fuel economy.
Look at this digital readout for the aircon.
How cool is that?
And yes, a tape player. Will I put a tape in? No, because I don't trust tape players. They chew things up, regardless of manufacturer or anything.
Here's a fun fact. The last new car to be fitted with a tape player was released in 2017,
That is crazy.
and it was the Toyota Crown.
Crown.
Yeah.
Shall we do a quick launch?
Yeah.
So,
Clear.
3-cylinder VTEC. 1 litre. Ah, we're at the limit.
Up to 40 before the side. It's quite nippy.
It is.
That wasn't even all the way up to red line.
Oh no, no, there's no way I'm redlining a heritage car. Nope.
Exactly.
I'll drive it spiritedly in the fashion of me.
Well, that's
But yeah, that goes without saying.
yeah.
But this, I mean, look at its handling.
It's very taut. I
It
think
is.
is the word to
I mean,
describe
look at
it.
this. It's like it's on rails.
Mm.
So there you go. That's our adventure and walk around on the inside.
Around.
Yes.
Glad to be
bloody
inside again.
freezing.
Yeah. Thanks for watching.